Okay, I'm back with my Mini UMK3 cabinet here. So as you guys probably saw in a couple of my earlier videos in the background, and then I kind of singled it out in one particular video, I've been building this miniature UMK3 Bartop. And I bought it as a kit that you put together. I can't remember the name of the website. I believe it's Mame Designs or something like that. And it's one of those cam lock and bolt systems. And basically I just kind of customized it to fit an MK3 and had all the artwork made. So as you can see, the artwork turned out very, very nice. The only problem I had is that my local print shop here doesn't print this type of material on adhesive back anymore. I did find another place here locally that does do it, but for the amount of money I spent, I didn't want to redo it all over again. So I'll just kind of give you guys a walkthrough. I'm waiting for my computer that should arrive today. Mysterio Zone, or Mysterio Zone, our good friend there on YouTube, actually hooked my computer up once again. So thank you very much on that. So I'll just give you a little walk around here. The side art, like I said, I had printed on this high glossy, I think it's Fujifilm paper, and as you can see, it turned out really nice. Only small problem I had on this side, for some reason, when I cut it, there's a little bit of a gap right there, which you can see. I mean, really, you can't really see it that much. You know, I don't know who's really going to be inspecting it. Another nice thing about this cabinet is they do the T-molding, the groove all the way around the entire cabinet, all the way across the bottom, so it sits on the T-molding, which is nice, opposed to sitting on the wood and kind of tear up the decal or the actual art. There's the marquee I had made as well. It's a standard marquee retainer, which is nice. I'll show you the light in the back. The monitor is a 19-inch LCD. Just like a standard computer monitor, and you mount it on there. It's kind of a weird way to mount it. You actually screw screws right into the side of the monitor, so I had to be careful doing that. The control panel, of course, I had the art made. It was a little difficult to get 7 buttons, and then the start button. You know, traditionally the start button's up here, you know, on an MK3 or an MK2 or an MK1, but I had to put it over here because I had so much room over here. But I think overall it turned out pretty nice, as you can see. I don't know, there's a glare here, but you know, he did a great job sizing it up. And then the front panel there, you can kind of see the brackets sticking out. This kit is not designed to have a swivel up, you know, the panel come up and down so you can access the interior of it. It's just designed to sit in there and lock. So I didn't like that, and I wanted the ability to be able to open and close, you know, like this. So I'm going to put a little chain from here to here so that way it stops right about here. You know, right about here, so you don't have it coming down and hitting something. But you can see I wired up everything. There's the iPack. All the buttons are individually wired and powered. Obviously we don't need the side 2 because we're not a 2-player unit here. I had a little bit of a problem mounting this mount over here opposed to this one, because when you close it, this button here actually would hit that. So I had to trim it off and then, you know, all that stuff. I velcroed down the keyboard and the power strip back here. I'll go around the back and show you, but I think it turned out pretty nice. The only issue I'm going to have is just, you know, taking the computer apart and fitting it in the back. But overall, one other thing I got to do is I got to make one of those Z brackets that closes this gap here. You know, it kind of sits flush here and closes up the gap. But now, I mean, all the buttons, you know, these are all hat buttons. I think it turned out really nice. I drilled a couple of pieces of plexiglass. It's really tough when you want to make something this small to cut everything that fits perfectly. So, you know, there's a couple of small things. If I did it again, I could probably do a little bit of a better job kind of cleaning up the edge here. But you know, overall, it looks great. I've seen some of my friends have come over and take a look at it and said it's phenomenal. So here's the back. You can see the light up there. This is it was quite expensive. It was about $26 at Lowe's, which is, I don't know why it was so expensive, but I think because of the size they gouge you. I use a stupid couple of pieces of duct tape here to duct tape up the cord, just so it's not hanging in the way. And then you can see I velcroed the power strip on here. Velcro works great in a cabinet like this. I use the industrial strength one. So that way, you know, it's super strong. And then, you know, obviously you get the power cord, you know, for the power strip. Here's the VGA cable that's going to plug out of the monitor into the computer. And this one here is from the iPack. So I'm just trying to figure out when I get this stuff how I'm going to put all the computer components in here. It is pretty clean in here, so I'm thinking I might mount the hard drive maybe along this wall here, and then the motherboard, depending on how big it is there. I don't need any DVD-ROM drives. I don't need a floppy disk. You know, really all I need is the power supply, the hard drive, the motherboard, and that's really about it. The only other thing I'm missing is a speaker set, and I don't really know what to put in here for speakers, because usually, you know, a 2-channel speaker system is fairly large with the subwoofer, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that. If anybody has any recommendations, PM me something that might fit. I'd like to fit something in between here, in this groove between the light and here, you know, simply because I'd like to hear the sound come out there, but I'm open to, you know, putting some standing speakers, you know, here and here. I'm going to leave the back open. I don't really have any reason to put the back on. I do have it in the garage, but you know, there's no reason to really put the back on because it's going to be against something all the time. I do have to say it's fairly heavy. It probably weighs, I don't know, 45, 50 pounds, I'd say, because of all the wood, and then you get that monitor sitting in there. Once I put the computer components in here, I mean, I'll probably add another pound or two, but you know, overall, I think the kit came together very, very well. I'll make a video when it's up and running. There's a pretty good glare right here that I'm standing in front of, but you can see the MK3 art. I'll try to get it right there. It turned out really nice. What I did this time is I took your MK Arcade Source's recommendation, and when I installed this, I let the edges come over a little bit, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3/8 of an inch, and then folded them over and then installed the T-molding. That way it's a nice clean edge. You can kind of see a little piece poking on here, but if you work it in, it cleans it up real nice, and it looks like it was professionally installed, which I don't think it could look any better. The front panel is, I sprayed some adhesive on it and stuck it on there. It looks great. Once again, you know, like I said, the T-molding on the front and all the way around, and here's the other side. This side I cut the right size, so, you know, there's no gap here. I don't know how I did that on the other side. I do have a little bit, but there is a tiny little gap at the bottom. I don't know if you can make that out there, but you know, overall, this project turned out very nice. Hopefully the computer boots up and everything works well, and I'm really just doing it as a multi-MK Mame. So I'll give you I'll back off a little bit and you can see it, but I'm pretty impressed with the way this looks. I was going to do a 2-player, but for something this small, I mean, here's my hand. You know, and you can see my hand fits almost the entire control panel. So if you put 2 people side to side on this thing, it'd be too much. So that's it. I'll make a video after the computer comes, but you can see it turned out very nice. We'll see you on the next one.